All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Puck Rock Rangers. I'm Stefan. This is Palmer, and the season is over for us, but there's always next year. So we got some stuff to talk about. Let's get into it.
Yeah, as Stefan was saying, the season is over for the boys. They're playing golf, but the postseason starts. Playoffs have started. Games are going on as we speak. We actually just watched the Flyers and Pittsburgh wrap up Battle of Pennsylvania. Flyers are up 2-0 in that series, stealing both games in Pittsburgh and head home with a 2-0 lead in the series. Gotta like that. We're gonna cover the playoffs. We're gonna get into some brackets, but first we got the thousands, the millions,
Billions.
billions. They're all wondering what's going on in our personal lives. So I'll let you start. What's going on, Steph?
Yeah, it's been an eventful week. We threw a yard sale, which was actually a lot of fun. We actually had some chaos ensue during the yard sale, but overall it was a success. We got rid of a bunch of stuff and put a little bit of change in our pockets. But I'm gonna tell you the story anyway. So we're checking out this lady. She's checking out her items, and I asked her if she needs me to help her put her stuff in her car. So I do. She leaves. Anyway, 10 minutes go by and Megan can't find her phone. She's like, where is it? They're calling it. Nobody can find it. They pull up the, what is it called? Life 360? They pull Life 360 and they're like, what the heck? The phone is in a neighborhood, like across the street from our neighborhood. So me and Palmer get in his truck. We go drive over there. We're looking around. We're trying to track down the phone, and then we pass a bright red Volvo of a lady that I helped put stuff in her car. And we flag her down. She's like, hey, do you want to, you can maybe check in the back. Maybe the phone's back there where you put the stuff. I checked it. It wasn't there. And then I go back up to her window. I'm like, yeah, I mean, her phone's tracker's on it. Tracked us right to you. She reaches over in the passenger seat. It's like acting like, what is this? Like, what? Oh, is this the phone? How did this get there?
It's insane.
It's crazy. So she handed it over. Long story short, Palmer and I went on a mission. We recovered the phone. It felt good to do something good and be successful with it.
We acted fast.
We were fast and quick, and she was probably like, she's probably like, how did they see me? Like, you're in a bright red, like early 2000s Volvo. Like, had it been like any other SUV or like regular looking car, we would have probably been out back. But it worked out pretty good for us. So that was fun.
Yeah. You don't expect that. You're having a yard sale to make a couple extra bucks, and someone's trying to steal your phone. Pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, she stole it right off the cash box table, which is crazy.
In front of us all.
Right in front of us. Like, she had to be a gypsy or something.
Sneaky.
Like, yeah, very sneaky. So, yeah. So other than that, just works good. Life is good. Kids are good. Everything's going good. What about you, man?
Yeah, I can't complain. I was set up at the yard sale with Stefan this weekend. Had a good time doing that. Had a great weekend, really. Went out to Charlottesville to a gear exchange place. Mm-hmm. Stopped at my buddy Daniel's record store, Hello Goodbye Records in Charlottesville. If you're ever in the area, stop in. It was record store day, so there were some deals and steals. I try not to spend too much, but I did buy a record. Got a t-shirt, and I met some cool people. It was really good event. Glad I stopped in. Went to 2 shows. Went to a show Saturday, went to a show Sunday. Saw Vigil both nights.
Nice. I've yet to see them, and it's all our boys.
Yeah, I know.
It's our boys in the band, and I still have yet to see them.
I know you got kids, but, and Coded played twice, too,
I've yet to see them, too.
I know you got kids, but you haven't listened to the demo yet, either. But we'll just...
I forgot.
But we'll get into that. But yeah, life is good. As long as you don't look into too many things going on, life is pretty good. So let's get into this episode we're gonna go over our brackets. Steph and I filled out our brackets. The deadline to do that was today at 7. So,
can't you win a prize with that?
Yeah,
like it's free to enter, but you could win money.
You can win money. I'm not sure exactly how that works. I don't ever expect to win, but hopefully one day.
All right, so let's go over it because Palmer said his is similar to mine.
Before we get into the brackets, I have a bone to pick.
With me?
No,
not
with you.
Okay, with the 12 viewers.
I have a bone to pick with the GM, and this is not.
Oh yeah.
I'm not breaking news. I've been critical of Drury, but and I'll try not to go on too long of a rant here, but I have something to say about this coward ass GM that we have. And Vince Vercagliano did a great job covering it, and I was listening to Locked On Rangers.
Yep.
He broke it down, the Vince article, very well. And it was basically stating that Chris Drury is the only. This is not hyperbole. This is not me just making things up or being sour. He is the only GM in the NHL that does not conduct regular face-to-face media sessions with the media surrounding his team, with the fans. No interaction at all. The interviews he does or the press conferences he does is 100. The word Vince used was gate kept. There's a moderator on the meeting. The question askers
are muted microphones. Yeah.
So they are unmuted to ask their question. They are muted directly after their question.
So no follow up. No pressure.
Chris Drury had insulting answers to questions. Like he was asked, the team has had a hard time with past draft picks. What do you think of that? It's hard to say. It's hard to fucking say. Look, I think Stefan knows this about me too. I'm not the type of person to rage out for nothing. And I know better than to let a GM of a sports team like really affect me emotionally. So this is not anger that's like keeping me up at night. This is sports fan anger. But I fucking hate that clown, dude. I've said it before, but he. The
longer we have him, the worse it gets.
It keeps getting worse. He has taken a decent vehicle and ran it through the fucking ditch. Ran it in. It's like on Trailer Park Boys. Julian's grandma gave Ricky that car, or gave Julian the car. Julian gives Ricky a nice car, and years later, it's the shitmobile. It's missing doors. It's falling apart. It's always breaking down. He blew this roster up. He has not done a good enough job replacing any of the pieces he's gotten. He has completely made this team unlikable, boring, and just bad. And after 2 seasons of just absolute dog shit, you think the least he could do is have
take some accountability.
A
zero accountability
of accountability. Put your stupid fucking ass in front of the cameras and talk to the fans for 5 or 10 minutes. But it's like it pisses me off too because like what are you being so secret of? I would have more respect for that tact if the Rangers were winning and he didn't want to tell us anything, and he wanted to protect the secret sauce. What are you protecting? This team, they take themselves way too seriously in the wrong ways. They don't take scouting and development seriously.
They just hired on a retread.
They don't take drafting seriously. They don't take interpersonal relationships with players or the fans or the media seriously. So what the fuck are they so serious about? They don't take winning seriously. So. And I'll wrap this up because I do want to get into our brackets, but I had to spend some time on this episode, talking to whoever will listen about this fucking coward Chris Drury. I cannot stand him, and it drives me nuts. He was a hockey player. He was a captain. He had to talk to the media at times. He's been there, done that. I don't get who he thinks he is.
Yeah, and what makes it even worse?
Like he's fucking Batman.
What makes it even worse is like we're dying to fire Drury. All we want is to fire Drury. the Devils fans, they wanted to fire Fitz. And we have to sit here and watch our rivals across the Hudson actually take action and do something for the fans, which is fire the GM, which nobody likes. But yet we're stuck with ours.
And our piece.
And Dolan's just as guilty because he's the man in charge, and he's just letting it happen.
And I'll say this, and I don't care, and we don't have enough. We're not big enough to get in any trouble. So I'll say what I want. Dolan is a piece of shit. He's friends with evil people. He hangs out at Mar-a-Lago. He was an Epstein boy. I mean, he is a piece of shit, and he has no clue what's going on with this team. And in the midst of a terrible season, the GM for the Blues, I don't even know his name, but right in the smack in the middle of the season, he addresses the fans. He addresses the state of the team, takes some accountability. What do we get? We get a letter that was probably AI prompted, took some...
Yeah, Chat GPT.
Some secretary 5 seconds to draft, and we get that sent to us. And that's the second letter. This organization doesn't give a shit about their fans. I will never switch teams. You can't help in your heart who you root for. And I was introduced to this team at a young age. But goddamn, man, I am so fucking tired of the way things are going with this team. They're unlikable. And short of that feeling in my heart, that fondness, I'm embarrassed by the Rangers.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be a downer, but the shit with Drury coming out over the last couple days really pissed me off, man. How about you show some fucking humility?
Just a little bit of accountability. Like take the L. Take the L. But no, you're gonna hide behind the L and try to convince everyone that you're up to some kind of plan. You're not up to anything. He has
no plan.
He's not up to anything. There's no plan. He's hoping.
If you had a plan, you'd actually look. He's a GM. He's not. No GM's gonna just divulge their plan to everybody. We're not asking for that. But give us some confidence. He couldn't commit to the answer. Will do you think should the Rangers expect to be in the playoffs next year? He says, I don't want to set expectations, or I don't want to talk about timelines. Just a complete chicken shit, nothing burger interview or press conference, if you can even call it that, by our fearless leader. And it's like, look, if he turns things, I've said this on this pod, I stand by this. If he turns things around on the ice, that's one thing. But will that fix the boring? Will that fix the interpersonal issues? Will that fix the problems? I can't stand Drury. I want him gone. And it's just kind of like, this year, dude, I would not have canceled a dental appointment to watch the games. I watched less than 30 games. I mean, unreal.
I watched more than that. They were hard to watch. Most games were hard to watch.
Unreal where I'm at with my fanhood of this team, and it's unwavering. I love this team, but where the current state sucks.
Yeah.
So end rant. We can move on.
Yeah. Fire Drury.
Fuck Drury. How about that?
Let's go. I hope somebody buys the team off Dolan too.
I hope he does get fired. I hope after that, he if someone alerts, wakes Dolan up from his fucking coke nap, and lets him know what's going on. Hopefully he does something about it, but it just reeks of complacency and arrogance. And what the fuck are you arrogant for? No one's winning anything. So let's move on. We're gonna cover our brackets.
Yeah.
And talk about some playoff teams. It's been refreshing. You were saying downstairs, it's been nice to watch teams that actually play well.
Hockey.
Felt the same way watching the Olympics. I was like, wow, what a sport.
Yeah, what a nice sport to watch. Like when you're watching good hockey be played, it's like, oh man, it's second to none. In the sports world, hockey is top tier, upper echelon.
And then playoff hockey, in general, but the first round is great. I enjoy all the rounds. I always watch the Stanley Cup a little bit. But the first round, it really is where it's at, man. You get the best matchups, and you just get, games every night. As soon as one ends, you flip over to the other one. You get later in the rounds, and it's like, what am I going to do tonight when there's no hockey? That doesn't exist in the first round, so gotta love it for that.
All right.
But yeah, let's get into our brackets. Do you want to go east or west first?
I Let's do West first. I have my bracket pulled up. Palmer said his bracket is pretty similar to mine, a few different changes. So I think we'll go series by series. We'll make our predictions on where it ends and how many games. So first series, we got the Avs and Kings. Yeah. I have Avs in 6.
I had Avs in 5.
Okay, so
do you want to expand upon them or just kind of rattle off what we have?
We'll just rattle them off because then we got the next round. So the next series is Stars and Wild, and I have Wild in 6.
I picked Wild in 6 as well.
So that would make it Avs and Wild in round 2.
Yes.
So now let's go to we got Vegas and we have Utah. So in that one, I watched game 1. I just don't think Utah has it. They got bullied. It wasn't even close to an even tilt. I got Vegas in 5. I think Utah can maybe squeeze one out. What do you got?
I think I had Vegas in 6 on this one. As much as I'd like Utah to win,
yeah,
and I really don't dislike or like either team, but I'd rather see Utah win. But I think experience and size prevails, and I think Vegas wins it.
Yeah, I think so, and it sucks because Vegas annoys me. I don't know what it is about them, but they just annoy me. I don't know why they do. So then we got Oilers and Ducks, which the game 1 is about to start in just a few minutes here. So I'll be once we're done recording, I'll be tuning into that. That one I got Ducks in 7. I got the Ducks taking it in game 7. I just think the Oilers are just. I think they've just. I don't know. They just don't seem like that dominant presence like they were 2 years ago. Like they squeaked into the playoffs a little bit. And,
yeah, I would agree. I also picked the Ducks. I picked the Ducks in 6, and I just think look what happened to Florida. They're dinged up. They didn't make the playoffs. It's hard to make those kind of deep runs over and over and over again. And I think it catches up to the Oilers. I'm not scared of the Oilers. Mm-hmm. I think they've been a little bit of a fugazi the last couple seasons.
Yeah, it's like an empty. It's like an empty.
And they're benefiting
empty suit of a team.
Yeah, they're benefiting from an awful conference.
They got McDavid, Draisaitl, and then everyone else.
Hyman.
Well, Hyman is a dog. So that would put Vegas and Ducks in the second round. So between Vegas and Ducks, we didn't have to do how many games, but I'm going to do it anyway. I got the Ducks in 6.
I went Vegas in 6.
You got Vegas in 6, so that's where we differ. Then we got Avs and Wild. I got the Avs. I think that's a good series. I think that's going to go 7, but I got the Avs in 7. So I think maybe you said what? You have the Avs too?
I picked the Avs. I'm trying to remember if I went 6 or 7. I want to say I went 6. I like the Wild. I really do. But their playoff woes in the past kind of alarming to me, and I just think the Avs are the better team. They've been kind of my pick all year, so I'm sticking with it.
So then we got the Western Conference Final. Mine would be Avs and Ducks.
Yeah.
Palmer's would be Avs and Vegas.
Yes. And I have Avs winning.
And I also have Avs winning. I'll say 6 because I think the Avs are just clearly better than the Ducks. I think the Avs are really clearly better than mostly everyone in the West.
I'm going to go Avs over Vegas Golden Knights in 5.
Okay, so 5. Yeah, Vegas just doesn't seem like
they're
big and they're scared. They're big and they're tough, but I don't think they're like that dominant.
No, I think they're exactly good enough to beat Utah in the first round, but I think anyone they're going to play next round would beat them.
Well, you mean in the finals because you got them beating the Ducks.
Oh yeah, but yeah. So anyone they play in the following round.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so let's move. That puts the Avs in the Cup final. Let's go over to the East. So first, Buffalo and Bruins.
I'm a Buffalo guy, man. I've been on the Buffalo bandwagon since about halfway through the season. I'm really pulling for them just from an interest level. They're a team I like anyways a little bit, and the fact that they haven't been in the playoffs so long, and they're up already a game on the Bruins, so I'm gonna go with Buffalo on this one.
How many?
I'm thinking 6 games.
I got Buffalo in 5 over the Bruins.
Like it.
So then we got Tampa, we got Montreal. I think that goes to 7. I think it goes 7 games.
This one also goes 7, and you picked the Habs. I picked Habs. Tampa. So
cool. Then we got Carolina and Ottawa, and I got this is another one we differ in.
Yes.
I got Ottawa in 7. Actually gonna.
That's bold.
I got Ottawa in 7. I think they're like I don't know. I just like the way you said that you see like the Oilers being kind of fugazi. That's how I see Carolina. Like they overperform, but then I don't think they're like that overly dominant. And I just like the gritty, grindy style.
Fair. I think that's a low scoring, low event series, but I do think and I think that bodes well for Carolina. I think Carolina wins it.
So then we got Pittsburgh and Philly.
The Battle of Pennsylvania.
That's been an exciting series.
Always a good one.
We just watched the floor get mopped with the Pens.
And it wasn't close, but it was chippy.
Yeah, 3-0 final.
It was getting chippy.
So they're up 2-0 in the series. I have Philly in 6.
I have Philly in 7. That's a 7-gamer. I know Philly's up 2. I think the Penguins could just as easily grab the next 2 in Philly, and we got a whole new series. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So then for my second round, I would put Buffalo and Montreal. I just think Buffalo's too good. I'm gonna put Buffalo in 6.
I have Buffalo beating Tampa Bay in 6.
Okay. Then I would have
Actually,
Ottawa.
I'm gonna go Buffalo beating Tampa Bay in 5.
In 5, you think
Tampa
Buffalo's
Bay,
gonna kill them that good?
I do. I think. Oh man. No, I'm gonna go in 6. I'm not that
Tampa's
bold.
good though.
I'm not that bold.
If they make it out there,
I know.
They got that playoff experience.
They do. They're hard to count out. Like I don't like picking against them, but I'm on the Buffalo wagon. I'm riding the Buffalo.
I mean, and the reason I choose Montreal is just because they're young and energetic.
I'm doing my bull dance.
I think
doing the flow.
Tampa's they're aging a little bit. Hedman's getting a little old.
That's kind of my reasoning for not picking them against Buffalo as well.
So then I got Ottawa and Philly, and I got Ottawa beating Philly.
So I would have had Carolina and Philly.
You would have had Carolina and
Carolina's beating Philly. They're a better team.
Yeah. So if Carolina makes, I think if Ottawa can beat Carolina, then I think Ottawa can beat Philly. So I'm gonna say that game would go probably with 7.
That. I would say if Ottawa beats, in your scenario, yes, but I picked different teams.
So then for my conference final, I got Buffalo and Ottawa, and that's a no-brainer. I think Buffalo takes it. I'd say 6 games. I just see Buffalo doing it.
Yeah,
getting it done. So you'd have Buffalo and Carolina,
and I have Buffalo winning in 6.
6. That's good. Yeah, it's weird. Like, cause now you're making me double think my pick is whether Carolina I should have given them more respect than I am, but. I don't know.
I think I'm kind of basing it off of history. Carolina doesn't usually get bounced in the first round, but they're not going.
They always get bounced in the third.
Second, they always, but they never make it to the Cup final. So I'm thinking the same.
It leaves us. We both have Avalanche and Buffalo in the Stanley Cup final for our brackets, and I'm going to say it's going to Game 7, and I got Buffalo.
I think Anaheim.
It's just too good of a story.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was saying I'm on the Buffalo squad, but I think it ends there. I said early in the season I thought Avalanche would win the Cup, so I'm sticking with that. And do you remember your goal total? I went with 39.
I did 28.
28. So you think a low scoring affair? Avalanche scores a shitload of goals.
Did I do 28 or did I do 38?
I hope you did 38.
38. I did 38. I was thinking, oh no, yeah, I did 38 for the tiebreaker. Yeah. I think I averaged it I did 6 goals a game between both teams, and then I think I added 4 just in case they have a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
So
that sounds about right. Yeah, I did 39.
So, but I do want to say this: if Buffalo makes it to the final and the Avs beat them, I think next year Buffalo is going to be a team to watch.
Buffalo is going to be good moving forward. I mean, they got Tage Thompson, Owen Powers. I mean, Dahlin.
Rasmus
Dahlin.
Christmas Rasmus.
They got a lot of good players on that team. And they've been building something. I think, everyone likes to, kind of squeeze the clown's nose every so often when Buffalo doesn't do so well. But they're here. They've arrived.
They got guys. It was just, what did they do? They hired a new GM, and then things turned around.
Yeah.
How nice does that sound?
Sounds wonderful.
How nice is that? You just hire a new GM and things turn around. What a lucky fan base.
Instead, we hire a GM and he fucks things up. What
a lucky fan base they got up in Buffalo. Watch. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Devils do something next year because they fired Fitz. get that new GM bump. As long as they don't hire someone, maybe we fire Drury and then they can hire him, and that would be the best case scenario.
Back to Drury for a second. I mean, John Chick said this on Locked On, and he hit it right on the head. He said, Drury was never going to completely win over the fan base with this press conference, no matter how he handled it.
But wouldn't you feel better if he at least had to...
He did nothing to win us over. He did nothing to help
double barrel middle finger.
Anything. Double barrel middle finger. No warm and fuzzies. No Vaseline. No niceties. No ice cream after. No cigarette. Just call a cab and get the hell out of here. That's how he treats us. Like back pages. It's just awful, man. I can't stand this GM, and really the way things have gone the last couple of years is an absolute gong show.
Now once we're finished recording, we're gonna watch this Ducks game, and we're gonna see all the players that he dumped off that were no good to us, and watch them see how they perform in playoffs in the West Coast. So that's why I'm excited to watch it.
I just my closing statement, man. I just don't. Think of your job, whatever you do watching at home, whatever you do. Think about if you had an awful year 2 years ago. And at the end of the year, you have some kind of review with your boss, and you agree that it was a bad year, and we need to redo things, reassess, right? So the next year comes up, and it's really going bad.
Even worse than the year before.
And you have to, but you have the boss's confidence. Would that work in any other job?
You better go stand in the welfare line.
I was thinking about it.
You're fired.
I was thinking about it at work today. The last repair shop I worked at, they fired me in 8 months. It was more of a personality thing. I just wasn't a good fit there. They had their reasons, but 8 months. And we had good numbers, and the store was doing well. 8 months, and this clown has blown this team up. 5
years of sucking.
5 years of he inherited a decent team, and we had a couple good runs, but once it's almost like the more DNA that this Drury DNA that this team gets, the more things he does, the more picks he fucks up, the more trades he executes, the worse we get, the further into the abyss. And I know this has been kind of a negative take on this episode, and there's been kind of a high around this team because of some of the kids and the way they finished up the season. I wasn't that seduced by that. I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm looking towards the future, but don't let that couple weeks of fun let you forget about the absolute dog show that this team has been, and that Chris Drury has blown it up, made it boring and embarrassing, and a couple kids showing out does not change that.
I agree.
So we're gonna go into the summer. The Rangers are not in the playoffs, so we're not going to get up every week. Steph and I talked about maybe once a month, every couple weeks, depending on what goes on. If there's anything major.
Yeah, I'm thinking we meet up in a couple weeks and we'll kind of discuss again what's happened since now in the playoffs, and then maybe we can do a season recap and a review on our predictions that we made before the season.
Yeah, I think next episode, no matter what we do, time wise, I think we'll take a look at the season and past, and just kind of
maybe Drury will be fired by then.
Hopefully,
that'd be what a nice episode.
And I think we should also look at the kind of schedule of the off season, maybe do an episode right around when free agency is going on. So we'll be in touch during the summer, but it's not going to be a weekly thing. But yeah, it was good to get over here and kind of get caught back up. We'll see how our brackets go.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So, follow, subscribe, please. It helps with the algorithm.
Yes.
Tell your friend's mom, do whatever. Just get us out there. And with that being said, I got nothing else. Do you?
Nope.
Forever hold your peace.
Until next time.
All right, take care, guys.